Having cleaned up all the noises, the next step is to correct the timing. You'll notice in the project window, if you zoom in close enough to an audio event, you'll see vertical lines. Somewhat new to Cubase is auto hit point detection, which automatically detects the transients. You can activate or deactivate this function in Preferences under Editing, Audio, and then you'll see a checkbox that says Enable Automatic Hit Point Detection. This makes quantizing audio a quicker process. And even if you don't use the quantize function, it makes doing the editing I'm about to do quite a bit quicker. Really quickly, let me show you how the audio quantization works. First, you activate the audio quantization function, which is the tilde looking icon in the quantization menu up top. With this activated, now I can just press the default key command Q to quantize an audio event. As I open it up in the sample editor, you'll notice that the event is quantized, and a lot of times this will put in far too many hit points, which oftentimes can lead to some pretty strange sounding results. Now, you can change this by going to the Hit Points tab and then adjusting the threshold. While this definitely can be quick, I find, at least for vocals, it puts in more hit points than I generally want. And I definitely can just delete out the ones that I don't need, but rather I just prefer to put them in myself. To do this, I'm going to go to the Audio Warp tab, and in there, I'll enable the free warp function. You'll notice this instantly shows a grid based on the song's tempo, and as I zoom in, the grid subdivides so I can see the quarters, eighths, and even 16th notes. Now, all I need to do is go through and align the transients to the beats. With Snap to Grid activated, the warp tabs you insert will magnetize toward the grid values. The degree to which you edit the timing is a matter of taste. I tend to like my parts very accurate, so I'm fairly extensive when doing the edits. That said, it's not always necessary to put warp tabs in for every transient. Rather, I usually just focus on the main ones and visually make sure the parts in between look okay. And a quick note, notice when I enter a warp tab and move it, the whole part moves. And you can deal with this a couple of ways. You can enter in an endpoint warp tab to anchor everything that's after that point. Or what I do is I just go through the whole part and edit the whole thing. And if you want to delete a warp tab, all you need to do is just hold a modifier key like Shift or Control or Alt and click it. I mentioned just a second ago that I do a lot of this visually, but really doing this editing is a matter of looking and listening. A lot can be done by sight, but it's always important to go through and listen through a section very carefully before moving on, just to make sure you didn't get any unintended result. Also, I find it's easier to do this part of the editing with the click on, so I'm going to enable the metronome. Okay, having gone through all that, now I'm going to go through and edit the main vocal part.
My mind lost its spark, lights have dimmed. Lights have dimmed to dark. Dim to dark. Dim to dark. I thought time. I thought time. I thought time was my friend.
And now I'm going to go back and listen and check my work. As I do this, I'll adjust anything that sticks out as not sounding right to me.
My mind lost its spark, lights
next step is to edit the harmony parts. What's important to keep in mind here is in the beginning of the section, the rhythms between the two groups is different. I'm going to use the same approach here as I did for the main part.
I know time. I know time's not. Oh, time's not my friend. It's not my friend.
Now I'll go through and listen to make sure it all sounds good and together. And again, if anything sticks out, I'll go through and fix it right then and there.
I know time's not my friend.
I'm pretty happy with that, but the D on the last word, friend, is all over the place. I'm going to go through and edit those so they're all together. I found the easiest way to do this is to figure out which beat you want that last syllable to be on, and then just line all of those up to that beat. In this case, I think beat 4 sounds best. When I'm done editing these, I'll go through and listen again just to make sure I didn't push anything else out of alignment.
My friend. I know time's not my friend.
Okay, sounds good to me. All the parts are fully in sync with one another. In the next and final video of the series, I'm going to edit the pitches.